Hello, guys, and welcome. So, today I wanted to make a top 10 list of bits of advice for people who want to approach RPGs, aka role playing games. Now, I've been meaning to make this video for a really long time, but I'm finally sitting down and doing it. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video is because I have a lot of friends who are content creators, streamers, and so on. And when Final Fantasy 15 came out like a year ago, they fell into certain traps, certain holes, which didn't allow them to enjoy the game. Whereas because I'm an experienced RPG player, absolutely loved it, and I had a hell of a time playing it. So I just wanted to give my advice. So number one, be ready for a journey. The difference in RPGs is that they are a long, long journey. So you explore a new world, you meet lots of interesting characters, a story will play out which way it goes. You might even visit other worlds and so on. So be ready to embark on an epic journey. The difference in RPGs is that everything you do from beginning to end has an effect on what you do. So you level up from 1 to whatever the max level is. You collect gear along the way, you meet interesting people along the way, and so on. So be ready for that. So it's not like, the typical popular games now, like League of Legends and Fortnite, which are just like win the map and do it again. It's like, it is a long, epic journey. So be ready for that mentality, that you're embarking on a journey. Number two, grind the monsters. So as you're first exploring the game and so on, you'll be presented in any RPG. You'll be presented probably in a zone which has level 1 to 5 mobs at the beginning. Level up. Do kill as many as you can until you get to a point where the mobs, you're equal at least to the skill level of the highest mob in that zone before you move on. So grind. And what that'll allow you to do as well is you'll find and pick up, as depending on the game, better methods, better drops, better item, better equipment, and so on. So it's worth grinding. What will happen if you don't do that, if you skip ahead, for example, then you will probably find yourself maybe halfway through the game. This is typical in RPG, where you're just severely underleveled and you can't go through a certain boss and you have to backtrack and catch up where you were. So I would say grind from the beginning. Like, grind as you're going, because games are really well paced these days. So they are designed for you to grind as you go. So embrace that. And then, feeding onto that, number three, do the quest at the appropriate level. So if you are level 3 and you have a level 3 quest, do it. Get it over with. Finish it. Like, don't ignore certain quests, even if it seems easy. And then maybe you get to endgame and you think, oh, maybe I should do this quest now. Because when you are certain levels above this quest, it will have no reward for you whatsoever. A reward that's not worth it. So do the quests when they're relevant level to you. Okay, number 4, keep gear up to date. So as you play the game more and more, RPGs, you get a lot of gear drops, whether it's equipment or accessories or stuff like that. So just make sure you're always wearing the latest and greatest that you have. Simple as that. Because it will help you fight quicker, it will make fights easier, and it'll help you progress on. So do pay attention to your gear. Number 5, pay attention to the story. The point of RPGs is, like I said, it's a journey. So you really miss out on the whole enjoyment of an RPG if you skip the story. That's the whole point of it. It's like, think of it as like an interactive storybook. Okay? So enjoy every moment. If you're not into those sort of games, whatever. But like, that's the point of an RPG. Enjoy the story, embrace it. But I will put a but to that. There are some games where the side story is a bit too intense. So, for example, I did play recently RPGs such as Sword Art Online, Tales of, and so on. If you read every single word of every single side quest, you're going to be reading more than playing. So there is a balance to be had. But for the main story, usually main story quests are clearly defined in RPGs these days. So make sure you pay attention at least to the main story. Okay, and then let's see, where was I? Sorry. Number 6, embrace team play. So quite often in games these days, whether it's Ni no Kuni or Final Fantasy or Tales of or any of these big RPGs, you will have a group of people that you go with rather than just one single character. So I think we've moved away from the single player setup. Single player setup are the old games. They're like the Tomb Raiders of the past, games like that. Whereas now you have squads of players going, or characters going through this RPG world. So do apply the rules to all of them. Update all of their gear. Like, see what you can do to work better as a team. Are there some, like in the latest Ni no Kuni, for example, you had 6 characters, but there was only 3 types of characters. So 2 of them used spears, 2 of them used hammers, 2 of them used swords. So I just embraced the team play by using one of each. So 1 sword user, 1 spear user, 1 hammer user. Simple as that. So do embrace it. Do look at how you can optimize your team and so on. And then number 7, don't be scared to use guides. Guys, because some of these RPGs are huge. They're massive. So they're full of side quests, and they have a lot of things that you need to really think about. So embrace it. Like, use guides. If you get stuck, use them. Don't allow something that you're stuck on to stop you playing the game more. So quite often when I'm live streaming an RPG, I will say to my chat, it's like, can you help me? I can't work this quest out. While I'm doing this, can you look up what I need to do next? Stuff like that. So don't ever stand still just because you can't work something out. Like, even me as an experienced RPG player, I use guides. Not for like the whole game beginning to end, but just for bits I get stuck on. And don't be scared of that. It's normal. And also, number 8, don't believe the hype. I think a lot of people that were put off by, for example, Final Fantasy 15, because there was rumors going around, things like, oh, this game will take more than 100 hours to finish, and all this other rubbish. It's rubbish. It's hype. It's rumors. Just embrace it and play the game. Just enjoy the exploring of a new world and so on. Because when you're in the RPG mode, like I just now today, funny enough, finished Ni no Kuni 2. It took me 45 hours to do. I promise you, it did not feel like 45 hours. Not even at all. I swear, even 2 games a fortnight feels longer than the 45 hours I just put into Ni no Kuni 2. So, embrace it. Like, enjoy it, guys. Like, enjoy the journey. You just don't be put off by these timings. And even if it is 100 hours, so what? As long as you're having fun, that's the main thing. And then, number 9, as I was saying before, explore. It's like, the nice thing about RPGs, they create a whole world for you to explore. So embrace it. See the sights. That you'll be amazed at the sort of sights you see in games these days. Like, you can marvel at some of the locations, because the way I see it is like developers are putting and using their imagination and putting it on your screen. So I like seeing other people's imaginations. And then last but not least, number 10, get your money's worth. So, like I said, RPGs are a long journey. So do explore. Do as much side quests as possible. Do as much story as possible. Level up as much as possible. A good indicator for me is how close am I to a platinum trophy. Now, some platinum trophies are impossible to get or really hard. Like, they might take hundreds of hours to get for very little gain. You have to spend hundreds of hours grinding the last 3 or 4 medals. But it is a good thing to do. If you really like the game, if you like the world that you're exploring, explore it to the max, because for me personally, once I leave those games, I never return to them ever. There's always more games coming out. So get your money's worth while you're in the RPG and enjoy it as much as you can. That's all I'll say. So anyway, guys, that's my top 10 tips for approaching RPG games. Hope you liked the video. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. If you're looking to get into RPGs and you want some suggestions, I would recommend Final Fantasy, World of Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, the Square Enix RPGs. You also have the Tales of series. You have Ni no Kuni. You have Sword Art Online. You have so many RPGs, Japanese RPGs, general RPGs to check out. If you have any other RPG series you want to recommend, please let me know in the comments down below. So remember to like, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.